Hello, this is how to program for the KDE community using the C++ static analyzer PVS-Studio integrated inside of the C++ integrated development environment JetBrains CLion using the KDE build framework kde-builder. And this is the official website of the KDE project. I have installed the latest version of the integrated development environment JetBrains CLion. I have installed the PVS-Studio C++ static analyzer and the plugin of PVS-Studio for the CLion integrated development environment. You can see in here a new tool window, this one PVS-Studio on the left bottom of your screen. And now if we're going to build a KDE Git repository such as this one, Color Paint, in CLion, the PVS-Studio plugin will automatically run and provide the list of PVS-Studio warnings. So we just need to build. It's going to take a while, 219 C++ translation units. The build has finished, PVS-Studio is still analyzing. And this is what PVS-Studio found. We have the build warnings in the tool window messages. We have the PVS-Studio warnings in the tool window PVS-Studio. So this is an error window. It has columns. You can not show the low priority ones. Let's see what's on high priority. So inside of a CTO or a constructor, a virtual function is being called. Keep allocated variable new cell PTR should be allocated on the stack. I don't know what this thing is about. By clicking on the column code on the cell that's underlined, you get the HTML page of the warning. Yeah. As with any static analyzer, new type of warnings require that you do research. For each type of static analyzing tool, for each type of warning code, you're going to need to study. Virtual functioning constructor 2 more times, then keep allocated limited to function scope again. Virtual functioning constructor. Visibility scope of the dialog pointer was exited without releasing the memory. A memory leak is possible. Parent this. So this is a type of warnings that are probably false positives because Qt framework uses this idiom where when you construct a object that's that inherits from the base Qt types, and you provide a parent inside the constructor, for instance, then the parent might destroy all of the children in the correct order when the parent's destructor is being called. So probably not a memory leak, but when you do static analyzing of C++ source code, this is a very hard problem. This is called escape, and it's very hard to detect 100% if the destructor of the currently allocated object will be called before the current process will finish. Cursor call pointer was utilized before. It was verified against null PTR. When you have a PVS-Studio result warning that spans multiple lines like this one, 1, 2, 3, 4 lines, if you double click on the row, it will go to the first, then the second line, third line, fourth line, and then back to the first line. So it cycles through the pairs of source code file and line number. The same thing for this one. Let's see, the visibility scope of the LG pointer was exited without releasing memory, and this contains 2 source code lines in the same source code file. So this is 132 where the scope will finish, and here is where the object is allocated with new. So this local variable will disappear. So then how do you destroy the DLG? Well, you destroy it probably via this thing. Cursor call pointer was utilized before. It was verified against null PTR. This has 2 lines. Cursor call this guy. And this is received via parameter, so pointer to int. I'm not sure how to read this one, but there's plenty of warnings, and since I didn't research any of the possible codes, I don't really know what they mean, but I'm confident that if I look through all of the possible warnings, I'm going to find an easy task, something that's easy to fix, easy to understand, and makes sense to fix. Expression is always false. The OR operator should be used instead of the AND operator. Can't be shortcut. So if the key is 0 or key unknown, which is so how could it be both 0 and this large number at the same time? Yeah, this is definitely something that you should dig into. So it says that if you call this method, which just returns an int, hopefully the int doesn't change between invocations of the key method. of the getter is both 0 and a large number at the same time. So this is integer. Is it a negative number? 33 million. I know this thing looks like a bug that makes sense to fix. Virtual function in constructor 3 more times. Was utilized before it was verified against null PTR. Not all members of a class are initialized inside the constructor. You initialize Q, but you don't initialize int spinbox. This is Q, and this would be int spinbox. And this is a pointer. I don't know, medium. Structure size can be reduced with 4 bytes by rearranging the fields according to their sizes in decreasing order. I'm not gonna do that. There's a copy assignment operator, which is where? And there's no copy constructor. Create a reference to avoid using current points bounding rect repeatedly. Let's see how expensive this thing actually is. So current points bounding rect. We don't know because it's inside the Qt framework and we only have the .h files for the Qt framework, not the CPP files. But I'm going to guess it's not expensive at all. So the idea is to where is it? Current points bounding rect once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, etc. So why not create a local variable with the value returned by this method? Yeah, it might make sense. The same thing here. It suggests that you should have a local variable. Copy assignment operator is private, but the default copy constructor will still be generated by compiler. Prefix form of increment. Yeah, I know. It probably fixes a warning to replace IT++ with ++IT. I'm not sure if I would do this git commit though. All of these dereferencing of a potential null pointer are probably not easy things to tackle. Excessive check can be simplified. The OR operator is surrounded by opposite expression not and. Doesn't it suggest a fix? That would be great. Yeah, it does by going to the documentation. So it says that instead of not or true and something else, you should go with not or something else. Not or something else. Like this. I'm not sure if this conversion is correct, but you should test it out, research, put some breakpoints, use the debugger, etc. Or create a simple hello or C++ application that proves that the transformation that I did is correct. Redundant parentheses. Yeah, probably makes sense to remove these two. Okay, so that would be, if correct, this would be a git commit and a merge request. Extremely simple, extremely fast to create, and extremely safe. Doesn't introduce regressions, fixes a warning. You can copy paste the exact warning in the git commit message. Let's do that. Ctrl C. Always do copy the message, the warning returned by the static analysis tool or by the compiler when you do a git commit. This increases significantly the chances of the git commit being accepted. Potential null pointer. There are two functions which have an exact body, minimum height and minimum width. How could text style have the same height and width? Yeah, this requires further research. So using an enum as a bool expression. Let's see what exactly this code does. So I'm going to go no underline is value 0. So it's actually computing, or I'm checking if it's not this value. Something like this. Where are we though? This one. KP text selection pane. So make sure you never make changes to the .h files from the Qt framework. You probably do not want to build Qt from source and fix issues in the Qt framework and then propose a merge request to the Qt framework. That would be a bit more complicated than proposing a merge request towards a random Git repository from the KD Git community, from the KD community. There is no sense in testing scan dialog against null as the memory was allocated using new. Yeah, this is a very commonly encountered issue where a object of any C++ type is being allocated and then immediately we make sure that the object is not null. Because from what I have read, there's this consensus where even if you compile the source code C++ without exceptions, new will still throw an exception if not enough memory exists or memory cannot be allocated. But again, do your research again and again to make sure you're not causing a regression. So the fix would be just to remove this if protection. And yeah, this translation and this translation and this part. No scanning support installed. When no scanning support is installed, same dialog will return null. Wow, how is that possible? A constructor cannot return null, right? A part of conditional expression is always false, 0. Alt is unreliable. So this is effectively commenting out this int, this if. So instead of commenting out the entire if, something interesting was put in here. Yeah, I would comment out the entire if, and certainly not have comments at the end of the if, like this. The d-pointer was not initialized in the constructor. Where is the d-pointer? This guy. Again, suggests creating a local variable for this repeating expression. But then this is not a repeating expression because this is a ton of computation and this might change the values of the member variables, and this thing will then return different values after you work on the object mtype label. Consider checking for misprints. The label size. So it thinks that on line 117 there should be the word label size. Only if you enter with a debugger and see the exact values and what's happening in here, you can decide if this suggestion is okay or not. Okay, so this would be how, if you're programming for KDE, you're building a random KDE Git repository using kde-builder, color paint in our case. You have the integrated development environment JetBrains CLion installed, and then you can install PVS-Studio, license it, install the PVS-Studio plugin for CLion, and then while you're using CLion for programming for KDE, while you're loading in CLion KDE Git repositories that were previously built using kde-builder, when you build in CLion, PVS-Studio will run automatically, and now you will have more simple issues that you can fix besides the C++, G++ compiler warnings. You also have the PVS-Studio warnings. And then being CLion has additional analyzers. There's CLion tidy, there's a spell checker, a grammar checker, etc. with this wizard inspect code in the whole project. Analyze. And now let's see how we get to install everything such that this works correctly. Let's start by installing software. This is my wiki page in mariusp.github.io. I have this URL at the end. Let's find out how to install JetBrains CLion. I'm using JetBrains Toolbox. Just go to the jetbrains.com website, and then there's this tool that then allows you to install any other JetBrains tool from it. And the tool is this one, the JetBrains Toolbox. You download and install it. You need an account for JetBrains CLion. After you install the JetBrains Toolbox, this is available from the Start menu. And then you select in here CLion and press the Install button. Using JetBrains Toolbox, you can also start CLion, but there's no need for that. We have in the Start menu CLion. With that, we have the latest version of CLion. Next up, we need to install the PVS-Studio C++ static analyzer. PVS-studio.com. We want to evaluate, but we want to evaluate with not 7-day evaluation, but 30 days evaluation. For this, we're using a promo code from one of the many YouTube videos that provide a promo code, such as this one. You can just go to this URL, which has the promo code pre-populated. Provide an email address, gmail.com is okay. It does say company email, but then it doesn't filter for non-commercial email addresses. So you can put anything in here. As long as it's valid, and you can read the email that you receive. Go submit. You will receive an email with 3 things. There will be a name, a key, and instructions on how to install PVS-Studio, how to provide the PVS-Studio license key to the PVS-Studio installation. In order to install PVS-Studio, there's multiple options. Use it. In here, you choose your platform. I went with Linux. Next. I went with C++. Next. And then I need 2 things from here. I want either a tar.gzip, or in my case, I'm on Kubuntu 24.10, the deb file. So I just downloaded the deb file and I have installed it. The command line is like this. It installs the product correctly, but then you'll need to provide the name and key that you have received via email. Then we're going via the CLion branch. We have PVS-Studio already installed. We have JetBrains CLion. Let's go, new project. Okay, and we want to install the plugin PVS-Studio for CLion. File, Settings, Plugins, Marketplace, Search PVS, PVS-Studio for CLion, this one, install. It asks that we restart the integrated development environment. Let's do that. And then from the CLion main menu, File, Settings, and now we have a new item top level in the settings window, which is called PVS-Studio, the last one. In here we go to registration. In the name and license key, we provide the two values that we received via the email. Let me put those. Okay, let's press the OK button. And now we need to build a KDE Git repository using kde-builder. The example was the KDE Git repository color paint. Let's do that. It's going to take a while. 38 Git repositories to be git cloned and built. The KDE-builder tool finished building color paint. Now we need to load inside CLion this Git repository. Let's quickly follow the instructions. So we need a CLion file close project. We want to, let's look at the instructions. We have this setting in the configuration file. We have just built a project. We'll need to build it again with these parameters. Ctrl-Shift-V. We can stop it once CMake finishes, like this. When it says Ninja, then we can stop the build. Ctrl-C. We have this part written down. And then it says that we should open the CMake list.txt file. So let's do that. Open exactly this tilde/kd/src color paint CMake list.txt. Okay. As a project. Let's close all of these tabs. We need to configure CMake. Unfortunately, the project was already configured. So let's see where the settings are hidden. File settings build. CMake. And these are the settings for the current project. Most of the settings in this window, in the CLion settings window, are about CLion in general. But this part, CMake, is for the currently loaded project. So you want the build configuration debug, which we have configured in here. Then we have the build directory. That's this one. This one, actually. Put it into the build directory, Ctrl-V. And then the CMake options is the rest of the command line after without the -b and -s command line parameters. So starting from -g until the end. Right click copy, Ctrl-A, delete, Ctrl-V. And what's remaining is the environment. Let's clear the environment. Okay. And in here it says that I should take these lines and convert them to this thing, and we're using two string replaces. And then I should save the content, this content, to this file, because this content is the same for all of the KDE Git repositories. So I can just open this file. It's already open. Copy the contents, Ctrl-A, Ctrl-C. And we need to paste this thing in environment. Edit environment variable. So this is the environment. This is the button, edit environment variables. And in here, I need to click on the button with tooltip paste and press OK button. No need to remove the build directory. CMake has already run correctly. Let's look at the CMake tool window. We can see that it just finished. We can run it again if we want, but no need. Let's run it again, clear all, and reload CMake project. So I clicked on this button, and then I clicked on this button. After that, and then all we need to do is to build. So from the CLion main menu, build and rebuild color paint. If you do an incremental build, for instance, you change one CPP file and then you do build, then PVS-Studio will be run only over the C++ translation units that change, which will be just over one CPP file. But we want PVS-Studio to run over all of the files in the Git repository. So even if the repository was built already, the KDE Git repository, we should at least once rebuild. And again, there's 219 C++ compilation translation units. After the build will finish, then PVS-Studio will start. At the end, we'll be able to see both the build warnings inside of the messages tool window and the PVS-Studio warnings in this tool window, PVS-Studio. You can open this window also like this from the CLion main menu, View, Tool Windows, and then the colorful icon one, PVS-Studio. Build is half done. The build will finish. One more translation. Now it says build finished, and we can see that PVS-Studio has started. By clicking on the toolbar, on the status bar, we now see a bit more details about the tasks that are actually running. We see that this output parsing includes is generated by PVS-Studio. Or if you hover on top of the text in the status bar, you will see that the text is generated by PVS-Studio. And it's going to take a while to do its thing, because static analysis is a bit slower than actually compiling the C++ source code using the G++ C++ compiler. And this is it. The build has finished. The PVS-Studio static analyzer has finished its things. Let's see if this button works. Show the most interesting warnings found by the analyzer. The macro is a dangerous expression. The parameter _d must be surrounded by parentheses. Which one of them? Yeah, so when you're working with C++ and C macros, always make sure that the macro can be placed anywhere, including in the body of a if statement, including in the condition of an if statement. And you do that by using while blocks or squirrely brackets, who knows. You should research the domain. It should take a couple of hours to figure out exactly how you should escape your macros in the most fail-safe possible method. Casting from int to double, which might lose depending on if origin x is double. Okay. Send image to printer. Yeah, you should see if the loss of precision is problematic or not. And this is it. Again, using PVS-Studio for the evaluation that you have, which is 30 days, you can easily see a huge list of issues. You can pick the ones that seems more actionable, higher priority in the sense of lower hanging fruit. So easy to propose a Git merge request, and if possible with a bit of an impact, not just Git changes that don't really do much. So thank you.